Hello everyone and welcome to another Wizard101 video. This is like third day of guide, not guide week, but like basically I've been making a guide. I hope you've enjoyed them. If you've learned anything new, please let me know. Today's episode is where things really start getting not really spicy, but it will help you in the long run. This is an intermediate player guide. So this is if you've already gone through the game a bit, if you want a more challenging experience, and if you really want to stay on top of things. So my first recommendation for any intermediate player is do Winter Tusk. So when you reach level 20, you can go to Grizzleheim. If you go to Grizzleheim, you do it, you'll notice to get into Ravenscar, you have to be level 40. And to get into Winter Tusk, I think you just have to complete Ravenscar. I think you can be level 44 to do, or you can definitely do it at level 44. So what I would recommend, and this is a recommendation to literally everyone, not literally everyone, but more intermediate players who want a challenge, is do Dragonspire, and then once you're done with Dragonspire, do Grizzleheim, and then do Winter Tusk. It gives massive amounts of XP and will keep you way ahead of the game. So I started, for those of you that don't know, I took a hiatus on my Wizard101 series from I think it was like December. I finished Dragonspire, and then I didn't upload anything until was it April, March? I think it was March. And then in March I came back and did Winter Tusk, and I've been uploading just well, not every day, but just about every day since. And Winter Tusk may be challenging, but it is incredibly useful for you to do, and you will exit it at level 56 if you start at level 44, which is incredible if you do every side quest, because being level 56 puts you way ahead of the game once you enter Celestia, and Celestia is a really challenging world. Now, the next tip I'm going to give you is, I've actually made a video on this, but I don't mind putting in this episode, is that if you need gold, Winter Tusk is also very important for you to do, because you'll, at one point, you'll see Halfang Bristlecrown here in Vesterland. This is part of the main quest. You have to defeat him, I believe Osvud and Azric on the same quest. It gives 17,000 XP. But what's so important about this man is that he is very easily farmed, because he only has like 2,000 health, I believe. So if you get a Sandstorm, some Blades, Enchants, you go in here, beat him up. I'm not going to do it during this video, obviously, but it's still, it's just here to show you this man is incredibly easy. And he drops something called the Cow Pearl Amulet. Now, the Cow Pearl Amulet is, I don't have any of them, but they sell for about 8,000 gold each, which you get them semi-frequently. So the boots from this guy sell for 3,000, the wands sell for 4,000, and the Cow Pearl Amulet sells for about 8,000. If you keep farming this man over and over again, you can get 100,000 gold in like less than half an hour, which is incredibly useful. So if you ever need gold, I recommend Winter Tusk. A lot of you probably already know this, but it's still an intermediate trick to get through the game. Now, I'll see you guys at the next tip and trick. You'll see what I mean when I say I'll be at it. So before we actually reach the next thing, I want to just take time to say I'm sorry, because I just noticed I had my video capture device on. I still had my camera on, basically what I'm saying, despite it not being on my computer. I meant to turn that off for these guide videos, so the last two guide videos will have that on, and I will not have noticed. You'll just have to deal with it. Luckily, the camera isn't too distracting. It's just in the corner. But here's the next trick. So you can get this just about anywhere, but the Archivist, in my opinion, is probably the easiest to get to. So one thing I would highly recommend, 250 each, buy Monstrous, because you can see they give plus 175 damage to one spell. I have 586, which is a lot of them, but if you go here, you can see I can buy up to like 130 of them, which actually I think I could buy up to 1,000 right now, which is funny. I don't have that much room in my treasure card deck, obviously, but you can get this at the Archivist, you can get this at the Arcanum. Just get someone that's a high level to teleport you there, or get a friend buy them on your high level account, trade it to them, and then trade it to your lower level. Now, why do I say to do this? Fucking tank, whatever. But why do I say to do this? If you put Monstrous in your deck, as you can see, I have 586. Early game, this is so important. So, for example, wait, let me get out of treasure card deck. Say I was level 2 and I had a Scarab, right? I want to beat Rattlebones in one hit. When you use Monstrous on Scarab, 175 will make this go from 65 to 105 to around 130 to 270. That's a 1 pip Scarab doing more damage than doing about as much damage as Locust Swarm. That's not to mention, like, I always find that the level 2 spells are the most influential with monsters, because you'll see Scorpion here will go from 160 to 200 to about 300. I think it's 315 to 370, which, that is so much. That is higher than most bosses. Like, if you have a blade, that's higher than most bosses throughout the first 2 worlds, which is why this tip is so important. If you have Monstrous Treasure Card, you can get through the entire game solo, or at least the first arc of the game, incredibly easy. You'll notice I actually did use that on my balance. That's why I have 530 of them. I think I had 900 of them when I started the Let's Play, but you'll notice throughout the first few worlds, that's what I did. It's an incredibly easy way to get through the game, and if you have spare gold or anything, so use the last tip and trick in tandem with this. Get a high level wizard, farm for gold, so get up to like level 60, farm for gold in that guy constantly. It's really easy to farm for gold in him. Get up to 100,000 gold. Just buy Monstrous, buy a ton of Monstrous, and then on your account, eventually you will have this pool of Monstrous, which I do. I have a second account, which is another way that you can make it so that you can trade it. I have a second account that I can trade with myself to actually get that. So those are some tricks for that. Obviously, this becomes obsolete once you make it to Celestia, because then you can just learn the magic. But you still need to be level 56. Up until you get to level 56, obviously you can do it. It's from the Sun School Trainer, I believe, where you actually get Monstrous. So that's one incredible tip that I would recommend. And the next few are just kind of things that I've said in other guides. First off, you want to use Heartsteel up until about level 30 to 50. Somewhere in there, you change it off. Skyr and Hasta you want to use from level 30 onwards. Up until that, you use the starting wand they give you. At level 56, they have this Ring and Athame that you'll notice here that gives around 7% damage for every school. Use that up until level 100, or level 90, sorry, and then you use the Hades gear. That's something I would recommend for everyone as well. Use the Waterworks gear at level 60. I have like videos for all of these things in the description. Not in the description, sorry. I'm too lazy to put them in the description. You have to find them on your own. Find the Waterworks episode I have. Honestly, if you just go to YouTube and type in Kaiser Noah Waterworks, it'll definitely show up, because I have tags on all my videos that make them easy to find. But those are things I'd recommend. Another thing I would recommend, this isn't even really an intermediate tip, but it's, I mean, I guess you can consider it that, is that level up your crafting. Now, this may seem tedious at first, and it is rather tedious, but I do kind of enjoy crafting sometimes. I think it's fun. Excuse me, sorry. I have a really bad I have really bad allergies today. I don't know if you noticed. And all these videos are probably sounded a bit stuffy, but I literally can't breathe. So basically, you come to this lady over here. She's right here, around the way. Her name is Eudora Tangletree. You get a quest from her. She will tell you to craft Dagger of Absolution. You basically get the materials, which are, it's usually incredibly easy to get some of the materials, and then you do crafting. You just keep doing the crafting quest. Now, the reason why I say to do this is that once you get up to Grandmaster Crafter and Legendary Crafter, which is Celestia level and Zafaria level, is there is some important things you can craft. For example, in Winter Tusk, there's alternatives, level 56 alternatives to the Waterworks gear that are crafted that are much easier to get than Waterworks gear because you don't have to farm. If you're way too lazy to farm, like I have been in the past, use that. It's incredibly useful. Makes it so that you don't have to do Waterworks like 8 times to get all the gear. Look up crafting vendor Sudreland in literally anything and you'll find him. I think he's also in my Winter Tusk Sudreland video, which I think is the 20-minute one. So look that up. That's what I'd recommend. And the next thing is that you'll notice is that there are spells that you can craft once you get up to Legendary Crafter. Now, I don't have any of the recipes bought, so I can't see them right now. But the places that you get them is, one, from the Shirataki Temple, from the Goat Monk at the very end of the dungeon. He gives them. The other place you get them is in Avalon in Dundara. You get them from the keep, I forget what the keep is, but it's the something keep. You'll know because it's a boss fight. And it's like this like cave looking ass thing. These spells are actually incredibly useful. Usually they're like, the problem is that they're incredibly hard to craft, by the way, but if you can craft them, they're actually pretty useful because they're all really good spells. For example, on my balance, I would be able to craft Samurai, and I believe there's one more I can craft. Off the top of my head, I can only think of Samurai, but excuse me. But being able to craft that spell, I believe it's 5 pips and it does like 500 damage. So it's honestly better than, I think, than the normal 5 pip spell here. It's more powerful than Spectral Blast. So these can be incredibly useful, or they can be completely useless because by the time you craft them, you won't even really use them. But certain schools, it's more useful than others. I would recommend everyone looking into that. And the alternative to this, which a lot of people probably already know, but I'm going to include for the purpose of this video, this is probably going to be my last intermediate tip and trick, but basically, one thing I would recommend is going to the Athenaeum here. Now, you don't even have to farm this boss, but if you do, it is only beneficial to you. But I would recommend everyone doing this at least once, because once you go into this library, the Athenaeum library, in the back right here, you'll notice someone called the Lore Master. She will have a quest that gives around 7,000 to 8,000 XP, which is actually really good XP for literally anyone. So that's why I recommend anyone do it. You go in, or press team up, honestly, because there will be a lot of people. Yeah, see, there will be a lot of people doing this. I now have to do this boss, but these people should be high level. Yeah, see, I have 2 level 1 or level 100s or above. Can I faint her? I think I can. I don't remember this boss. It's been so long. But, this is what I would recommend anyone to do, because she drops spells such as Lore Master, Samurai, Goat Monk, a bunch of these spells. And these spells will be incredibly useful for you, and you can get them at literally any level. So, you could be a level 1 theoretically and farm this. I don't recommend that, but you could. So, that's probably my last tip and trick for anyone. I don't really have anything else to say other than keep up side quests, which is what I said last episode. All of these things will help any intermediate or even beginner player if you're a beginner. So, if you enjoyed, drop a like. If you found any of these, if you didn't know any of these tips and tricks and you found them useful, leave a comment down below, drop a like, hit the sub button, and yeah, I'll see you in the next episode of something, whatever I upload. Have a fantastic day.